All of you welcome. Let's go to the new chapter in search of the source of wind. In this chapter, first topic is atmospheric pressure. What is atmospheric pressure? Atmospheric pressure is the weight of atmospheric air. The average weight that air exerts on the Earth's surface is 1034 milligram per square centimeter. The atmospheric pressure is measured using an instrument called mercury barometer. It is recorded in units like millibar and hectopascal. The level of mercury at normal atmospheric pressure will be 76 centimeter. The atmospheric pressure at that point will be 1013.2 millibar or 1013.2 hectopascal. Then we are going to study the relation between atmospheric pressure and altitude, atmospheric pressure and temperature, and atmospheric pressure and humidity. Among them, first one is atmospheric pressure and altitude. The atmospheric pressure decreases with altitude. The pressure decreases at the rate of 1 millibar per an altitude of 10 meters. That is, when altitude increases, atmospheric pressure decreases. When altitude decreases, atmospheric pressure increases. So, the atmospheric pressure and the altitude are inversely proportional. The next relation is between atmospheric pressure and temperature. The air expands when it gets heated. The expanded air is less dense and hence it ascends. This leads to the lowering of atmospheric pressure. The ascending air spreads to the sides and it starts cooling. On cooling, it becomes dense and descends. As a result, the atmospheric pressure increases. So, when temperature increases, the atmospheric pressure decreases. When temperature decreases, the atmospheric pressure increases. Thus, the temperature and the atmospheric pressure are inversely proportional. The next relation is between atmospheric pressure and humidity. Humidity refers to the quantity of water present in the atmosphere. If the quantity of water vapor is more in a unit volume of air, then naturally the atmospheric pressure will be less and vice versa. So, when humidity increases, the atmospheric pressure decreases. When humidity decreases, atmospheric pressure increases. Thus, humidity and atmospheric pressure are inversely proportional. Hope you have understood that altitude, temperature and humidity in relation to atmospheric temperature are inversely proportional. The next topic is high pressure. If the atmospheric pressure of an area is higher than that of the surrounding regions, it can be designated as high pressure. Next one is low pressure. If the atmospheric pressure of an area is lower than that of the surrounding regions, it can be designated as low pressure. Next term related to atmospheric pressure is isobars. Isobars are the imaginary lines joining places having the same atmospheric pressure. Next topic is global pressure belts. The atmospheric pressure is more or less the same between certain latitudes. Based on this, the Earth's surface is divided into different pressure belts. These are known as global pressure belts. Let us learn about each of these pressure belts in detail. The first topic is equatorial low pressure belt. All of you know the temperature will be high in this zone all through the year. The air expands due to sun's heat and rises up on massive scale. This is the reason for the low pressure experienced throughout this zone. You also studied that the temperature and atmospheric pressure are inversely related. It is situated between 5 degree north and south latitudes. Doldrum. The equatorial low pressure belt is also known as doldrum, meaning the zone with no winds. The region was a nightmare for the ancient mariners. The ancient mariners mostly depended on wind. Next one is subtropical high pressure belt. The hot air ascending from the equatorial low pressure belt cools gradually and subsides at the subtropical zone due to the rotation of the earth. Like equatorial area, subtropical area is also hot area. But the hot air ascending from the equatorial low pressure belt cools gradually and subsides at the subtropical zone due to the rotation of the earth. So, the subtropical area becomes high pressure area. Next global pressure belt is subpolar low pressure belt. As this zone is close to the pole, the air is colder here. Though the cold air remains close to the earth, the air is thrown away due to the rotation of the earth. As a result, low pressure is experienced all along the subpolar region. Due to the rotation of the earth, the cold air in the subpolar area thrown away. So, low pressure is experienced in the subpolar area. Next pressure belt is polar high pressure belt. This zone experiences severe cold throughout the year. As a result, the air remains chilled under the extreme cold that prevails over the poles, and this contributes to the steady high pressure experienced here. In the polar region, we know that there is low temperature, so the atmospheric pressure is high. Which are the causes of the formation of different pressure belts? There are two reasons. They are variations in the amount of solar energy received and the rotation of the earth. These are the reasons for the formation of different pressure belt. Next topic is shifting of pressure belt. The pressure belts shift according to the apparent movement of the sun. The pressure belt shift northward during the period of sun's northward progression and towards the south during the period of its southward progression. Next topic is wind. It is the horizontal movement of air from a high pressure zone to low pressure zone. Winds are named on the basis of the direction from which they blow. For example, the south wind is the wind blowing from the south. Once more, wind is the horizontal movement of air from high pressure zone to low pressure zone, and it is named on the basis of the direction from which they blow. The next topic is the factors influencing the speed and direction of wind. They are pressure gradient, Coriolis force and friction. Let us discuss them in detail. Among the factors influencing the speed and direction of wind, first one is pressure gradient. Atmospheric pressure is not uniform everywhere on the Earth's surface. The change in pressure with horizontal distance is termed as pressure gradient. The pressure gradient is said to be steeper when the pressure difference is more. Second one is Coriolis force. Freely moving bodies get deflected to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. This is due to the force generated as a result of Earth's rotation, which is known as the Coriolis force. This force increases as it moves towards the poles from the equator. Due to the force generated as a result of the Earth's rotation, freely moving bodies get deflected to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. Ferrel's law. Admiral Ferrel found out that the winds in the northern hemisphere deflect towards their right and those in the southern hemisphere deflects towards their left due to the Coriolis effect. The law put forward by him on the basis of this is known as Ferrel's law. Due to Coriolis effect, the winds in the northern hemisphere deflect towards their right and those in the southern hemisphere deflects towards their left. Due to the Coriolis effect, freely moving bodies get deflected to the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. The third factor is friction. The speed of wind will be high over ocean surfaces and plains as the friction is less. On the other hand, the friction being more along difficult terrains and places with dense forest cover, the speed of wind will be less in those places. Okay, in the next video we will discuss the remaining topics of this chapter. Thank you.